You're on.
6:52-ish. Call to order.
5:55.
That's what I
5:55.
said. 5:50, yeah. I lost an hour there somewhere.
You already went to Standerton?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, a couple months early. So we have two sets of minutes from the previous meetings that we had back in July. One is from July 9, one is from July 23rd. We'll take them individually. Marilyn had circulated them amongst the group before. We all had the opportunity to comment and make any suggestions. Just to review, these are all various transfers from the reserve fund to cover final bills for fiscal 18. So if there are no corrections or additions to the minutes, I'll
Move to accept as written.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor? That's for the July 29, July 9. And then again for July 23rd.
Move to accept as written.
Steve and Catherine, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Excellent, thank you very much. Do you need these back?
No, I don't. Do you need them?
Yeah, actually I do.
Sure.
I do need them. So the first item of business this evening, first item of business will be, we had a surprise email this afternoon from our member Eric Hart, who has regretfully resigned from the committee. So all of you out there, it's an opportunity to come hang with the cool kids on a regular basis. We have an opening for the finance committee. Eric has moved out of town to be closer to his work, and certainly understandable. We'll miss him and his humor and his insight on the committee, but wish him well. And his term, I think he just started, did he start with you last year?
He had already been on a year.
He'd already been on, so it must be just one more year then? We'll have to double check, but the term is probably just the remainder of this year.
I'm up at the end of this year.
Okay, so he must be in sequence with you
Yeah.
then. So I have, accepted his resignation, obviously, and forwarded it on to Tara, and she's going to bring it up at the Board of Selectmen meeting this evening to see if they're, just to make them aware of the opening, since they have to appoint anybody to fill his slot. So, next item of business will be a reserve fund transfer from the treasurer. I don't know what the heck is going on here. This is just not working for me.
Yes. I think I know about that one. On town meeting.
Unemployment?
Yeah.
They brought that up at the town meeting?
No, they didn't bring it up, but she told us that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She
Okay,
mentioned it.
gotcha. So we have a reserve fund transfer for the unemployment line. Let me shut that off. That's obviously not going to work. So the former fire chief, Warren Bersari, has filed for unemployment. The town is under obligation to pay him. It has been approved for a total of 27 weeks at an amount of $525 per week. The unemployment line, as voted at town meeting budget, is only $1,000, so obviously we blew through that pretty quickly. So the question before us is, as of 2 weeks ago, the line had already been exhausted, obviously. It was at negative $29. So they're leaving it up to us to see how long how many weeks we want to authorize, or if we want to kind of go through this on a monthly basis or something to authorize, because obviously his benefits will end as soon as he gets employed somewhere. So I don't know what his prospects are or anything like that. Obviously we're not in contact with him. So the potential liability to the town is $14,175.
Right.
So we can approve a transfer for that full amount or some portion thereof, and, you
If
know,
we approve it all, and it doesn't all get used, do we then just transfer it back?
I think it has to, that's the challenge, and that's the danger, I guess. Once we transfer it out of the reserve fund, it's out of the reserve fund and it's now in unemployment. So at town meeting, we could transfer it back, right? But we couldn't do anything in the interim if we needed to. So,
So we don't, I wouldn't think we would want to transfer it.
no, but we might want to do $3,000 or $4,000 to get through a couple of months, so that we don't have to go through this I don't have to call a meeting every 3 weeks to, you know, to reimburse it, but,
Right.
I agree, I don't think we want to do the full amount.
And then I was confused and I just didn't want to.
Did Barbara make any recommendations about?
Barbara did not make any recommendations, other than you know, they wanted at least $1,000 to bring it current, but anything beyond that, she was going to leave up to the FinCom.
You're welcome.
The
So you look-
$1,000 was authorized at town meeting
Yes,
Yeah, that's
Okay.
the budget, that's the budget it authorized at town meeting.
for the unemployment line, not specifically for him, just for the unemployment.
Correct,
line. Okay.
correct, for
okay.
the unemployment account.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so.
quarterly, 3 months.
3 months?
Yeah, do it quarterly. Probably would be the easiest. I mean, would be the less frequent.
Yeah.
Are we gonna be meeting monthly anyways?
I think at this point, we probably will be meeting monthly, or give or take, you know, 5 weeks maybe. Because, you know, we're getting into our season where we typically
Right.
start to meet once a month. We had a free month in September.
Are you looking for a figure?
Yeah, do you have one?
No.
Oh.
So,
So 525 times 13 weeks would be $6,800. If you subtract the $1,000, it would be $5,825. So we could do that or somewhere in between. It's roughly $500 a week
Right.
times 13 weeks is $6,825.
Oh. Times 13.
If we think we're gonna be meeting in the next 4 weeks,
I would like to meet
Yeah.
monthly.
well, then let's just do it.
Let's do a month to month.
Yeah,
let's
let's do it
let's
monthly.
reimburse it and do another 4 weeks.
Okay, sounds good. So that would be roughly 6 weeks times 525. Yeah, let's do $3,000.
Okay.
Okay, so we will.
Is there a motion?
I'm waiting. Hang on.
You're figuring
I'm
it
trying
out.
to figure.
He hasn't written down the amount yet, I can see.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion for reserving, for transferring the amount of $3,000 from the reserve fund, which is line 800, to the unemployment line, which is, she's got the budget line in here, it's not the. Bless you. Oh, do we know? There it is, line 30. In the amount of $3,000.
Move $3,000 from
Line 800
line 800
to line 30.
to line 30.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Get this, we've all got pens.
I know.
Usually
Okay.
it's Eric I'm passing it to.
So the only other thing we had on the agenda was to discuss the budget process for the coming fiscal year. And I know, Marilyn, you had a meeting with Liz, kind of an
I did.
informal meeting. I don't know
Yeah.
if you would like to recap that for the group?
Well, she was, we met for a while, and, I guess it was August the 21st. And she suggested that we could work together, and that she had spent a great deal of time with the Finance Committee last year. And she was suggesting that she gather all of the information and put it in the Finance Committee spreadsheet. And, except for the schools, she did exclude the schools when we were discussing that, so that we would still probably all together, meet with the schools, because they're just such a significant part of the budget. And that she believed that it was to our advantage to have her do this. I think typically that's what town administrators do. So that we would have a little less grunt work to do and more time to review. So then she was open to our comments. It seemed reasonable to me.
Yeah, she and I had a couple of conversations just in the hallway as I was passing through, that sort of thing, along those lines. I actually happened to meet with her a couple of days after that about something else, and so we had that same discussion. And I think at the time we sort of agreed that maybe in addition to the school department, that maybe the other three large departments in town from a budget perspective, highway, police, and fire, might also come before this group so that we could have some questions answered if we needed to. So I'll share a letter with you and with the folks at home. I know you passed it around earlier, but just to make it formal for the record, this is a proposed letter. It's to be sent out to the different department heads from the administrator on behalf of the selectmen and from the FinCom. So it's, dear department heads, boards, and committee chairs, we are writing to inform you that the budget preparation process for fiscal 2020 will be managed somewhat differently this year. The budget materials that have traditionally been distributed by the FinCom will now be sent out by the town administrator, and as such, all budget requests and submissions will be made directly back to her. Additionally, the town administrator will be meeting with department heads and board and committee chairs as necessary, and then she will be preparing one complete budget package for the Finance Committee to review. In some instances, your meeting with the town administrator will complete your role in the budget preparation process. However, depending on the size of your department and/or the specifics contained within your budget, we may be requesting your attendance at one of our Finance Committee meetings as well. We are confident that this modified process will be advantageous by streamlining the budget preparation cycle and ensuring consistent communication between the Finance Committee, Board of Selectmen, and various town departments via the town administrator. Town administrator will be working with the town accountant directly and will be sending out the budget memo and further information for budget preparation by the end of November. Thank you for your anticipated cooperation. So I think the biggest change from our perspective is that she wants to start the process earlier, a little bit earlier. Seems about a month earlier than we had done it typically in the past. I don't know what her deadline would be as far as getting the materials back into her, and whether our cycle, which typically began in February, we had meetings in February and March with the various departments. I don't know if that would continue to hold, or if it sounds like a lot of that would go away, and maybe rather than having 4 weeks of meetings with departments, we might be able to get it all done into 1 or 2 evenings, which I'm all in favor of that. I think you all would be too. So any comments or thoughts about the process as it's outlined here, or do you want to?
This is going out from you and the Board of Selectmen?
Correct.
Okay.
You can sign it if you want.
No.
You're the secretary.
Yeah, no. No, I thought you had initially said it was coming out from her. From the
No,
town
no, no, no,
administrator.
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
If I did say that, I
Okay.
misspoke. No, it's coming out, it's going out from joint letter from FinCom and the Board of Selectmen.
Well, I think it's a reasonable approach. And I think, this will be the first year and we'll probably need to make some adjustments and
Muddle
they
our way
might.
through
and-
it.
Yeah, I mean, I think, those of us that were on the FinCom back before we had an administrator, that was certainly one of the driving forces for encouraging the town to adopt an administrator. So I think we need to let her do her thing. Yeah, and as you say, if it doesn't work out for whatever reason, her side or our side, we can certainly make adjustments going forward. But I think absolutely makes sense to give it a try.
I would think so.
So the part that I think is left to be determined is whether she uses our forms that we've generated in the past, whether we will continue to just generate the forms based off of our budget spreadsheet that we've created from last year, or whether she's got her own forms. And I can certainly work with her on that on behalf of the committee if you're all okay with that.
Yeah,
But I think in general the process sounds like it will work fine. And it did say, depending on the size of your budget or the specifics, we may be requesting your attendance. So it sounds like she's leaves in the possibility of meeting with, I know fire with the new fire chief. We certainly will want to have some input there, I think, and public works with a new superintendent over there.
Wondering if the where is it? We may be requesting that you meet. I'm wondering if it's the finance committee that might be requesting that you meet. I mean, I don't know who the "we" is, whether it's
Well, we would be John Trainer and myself, because
All right, as long as
we're the
you-
ones signing the letter.
all right, as long as you two are,
Yeah. Are you comfortable with that?
I don't know. I mean, I think it just,
Grammatically, yeah.
grammatically.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying.
It's getting to
Yep.
me. I mean, if we wish to, I assume that if we wish to meet with any department, we would be able to continue to do that.
Yes.
All right. Because on the whole, I'm in favor of this. I
Sure.
just wanted to make sure that, we can call a department in.
If we
Do we
think
have
it's
to
necessary.
ask the selectmen to call in a department?
We never did in the past.
No, we never have.
Yeah, I don't think we
Okay.
would.
I think we
To me,
can
that
work
hasn't changed.
cooperatively.
Yeah, exactly.
As long as we still have the authority to get
Yeah.
people in if we need to discuss things.
I don't think anyone would, especially the folks that we're talking about here that we might want to meet with. I mean, school committee's certainly going to come in and do their presentation for us. I would think they'll continue to do that because they're going to have all the
Yeah.
booklets and spreadsheets and such. And I'm sure there will still be, because of the size of the budget, there will still be various joint meetings, right, for
I
the
would
three
think so.
towns. So I think all of that's going to stay in place.
I can probably do
Oh, we were counting on you.
the Civil Aid.
Well, that's the part that I don't understand. I'm a little unclear, and I think we'll need to get. I'm fine with sending out the letter as is, but
Okay.
I think we need to get some more clarification from Liz. If she's planning on, is she going to attend the school committee meetings?
Right.
All of the school committee, or are we still expected to send a representative? Thank you, Steve.
Right, and if
Or-
to be
we're not
retired.
assigning people to different departments any longer? is
Right.
that-
Right. Well, right.
Yeah.
Right, I think the way I interpret this, based on my discussion with her and from this letter, she's the initial point of contact. So all initial requests go through her. If she isn't comfortable with answering the question, then she would come to us for guidance or selectmen for guidance. And then, of course, she'll present us with, she's, I think, going to fill out the spreadsheet that we have been using. She'll
I
fill
would
in.
hope so, because for
Yeah.
consistency's sake and for
Absolutely.
town meeting's sake too. I mean,
Right,
it's
it's easy-
complicated enough for everybody without changing the format.
Right, I think the format works. I think,
Yeah.
I think we've got it down to a point where it works pretty well at this point. So I think she, again, based on my discussion with her that I had that same week that you met with her, my understanding was she wanted the spreadsheet and she would fill out the numbers for us as the submissions came in. And And then she would just come to us periodically.
And she would have an additional column. Did she mention that to you, that she thought there would be
No.
a town administrator?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. So she was going to have a column where there would be requested amount, and then there was going to be a FinCom approved or recommended, and then there was going to be a town administrator recommended a column. What do you think of that?
That would that be her recommendation in cooperation with the selectmen, or was that just hers?
It sounds as just hers. My only concern is if she disagrees with us on any particular item, it could look awkward in front of town meeting. I mean, she certainly can voice her opinion when she comes to meet with us, and that would be where, I think that's more, I'm not in favor of adding a third column. I think FinCom is charged with preparing the budget and presenting it to the Board of Selectmen and the town for recommendation. I don't think we want to muddy the waters by having a third column, because ultimately we could have a FinCom recommended amount, a town administrator recommended amount, and a Board of Selectmen recommended amount. They could theoretically be three different amounts. I just think that's
It's going to make it very confusing.
yeah. So I'm not really in favor of that.
Was the purpose of her column just for discussion purposes between us? So it's like,
Possibly.
here's what they
Yep.
brought to me,
Yep.
this is what I think it should be,
Yep.
now you guys make the final decision?
Yeah, but I don't know if we need to record that as a separate column on the spreadsheet.
Maybe.
I think when she comes to us, she's going to have the documentation, and we'll put the spreadsheet up on the screen. She'll say, this is what they're proposing, and I would think as part of the discussion, she would say, this is
Right.
what I recommend. And then we would vote as a committee with her present,
Right.
to weigh in.
Well, maybe you should discuss that.
Yeah, no, again, I think that gets back to the more
Yeah,
nitty-gritty
developing,
process,
yeah,
developing the
yeah.
form, and again, if you guys are fine with that, I'll set up a meeting with her and I can report back to you, how that works out. But I think in general, just to avoid confusion and just to avoid the appearance of, discord between the committees, I don't think that's really appropriate to have a third column in there. Do you agree with that?
I think so.
Yeah, okay.
But we can, discuss.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. It could be exactly as you mentioned. It could just be her way of recording. This is what I agree with or
Right.
disagree with. Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
But I don't think it's something that needs to be formalized.
Yeah, and maybe it'll be just on the draft copy, and then yeah. It might just be a way of her gathering her thoughts to
And
present to
letting us
us.
know, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I'll flesh that out with her. Any other comments on the letter?
No.
If not, why don't we vote to send it out?
Move to send the letter out.
Catherine seconds. All those in
Second.
favor? Aye. Opposed? Excellent. Thank you.
Unanimous.
So the other part of that, so now that we've got this, new process in place, it really sort of leaves up in the air what our meeting schedule is going to look like. I mean, I started to rewrite the calendar based on last year's, and I was just going to change the dates and fluff it up a little bit and present it to you this evening. But then I stopped because I realized that it's probably going to look totally different, because we're not going to have to have hopefully we're not going to have those weekly meetings in February with the various departments. So I think we'll table that discussion until maybe I have a chance to talk with Liz and see what her thoughts are. Okay. All right. Piece of correspondence that came in. The Association of Town Finance Committees has their annual meeting Saturday, November 3rd. If anyone would care to attend on behalf of the committee. There are workshops. Budgeting 101. At FinCom, what you should know about social media. Maybe I should go because I can stay off of it before I embarrass myself or the town or committee.
Where are they holding it, the Lantana?
It's actually at Devon's, at the,
Fort Evans?
yeah, at the hotel conference center out there.
Oh,
And then there's afternoon workshop as well, increasing the effectiveness of your finance committee, or behind the scenes in collective bargaining, or drafting and setting strong financial policies. So, if any of you would care to attend, or a couple of you would care to attend on behalf of the committee, we can certainly, again, we would cover any sort of, it doesn't say anything about a registration fee, but I'm sure it's not free. I'm sure we would cover the fee.
Fort Evans doesn't have much out there, just
It's not bad out there now.
a military clothing sales store
No,
in
no, no,
Class 6.
no. There's all sorts of hotels and restaurants out there now.
Well, yes, but I'm talking about on the
I know, you're
base
talking,
itself.
well,
I'm talking
the
as a
marathon.
retired soldier.
the marathon guys out there, or used to be, right? Tsarnaev,
Oh, yeah,
he was out
the
there.
bomber was out there at the hospital. I went to that hospital once for a Class 1 flight physical.
I lost my train of thought.
Anybody wants to go can go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there was something else I had, actually.
We-
Oh, I know what it was. Annually, I don't think we did this yet this year since Marilyn rejoined the band.
Very bad.
Typically, we have, we authorize one or two people to be signers on behalf of the committee to sign, payment warrants. We are able to legally have one person represent the committee, so that we don't have to call a meeting when something just needs to be signed for payment. So I've done it the last couple of years because I'm local. Certainly Steve is available too. He would be another option.
There's two people on here that no longer are employed.
But I'm afraid of her though.
Right.
So anyway, if anyone would like to volunteer for that duty, or if we would like to, I'm certainly willing to do it. It's not a big deal. I stop in once in a while and sign.
I'm local.
Okay. Do you want to make Steve the
Sure.
designated signer, Steve or me?
Well, I think,
Is it only one?
is it only one?
I don't know. We'd have to check with Barbara.
That I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
All
well,
right, that's fine. Let's make Steve. Catherine nominates Steve. I'll second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I will accept.
Thank you, Steve. So we'll just have to let Barbara know that Steve's the authorized signer for the committee. That's all I have for the...
Are we not gonna schedule a next meeting? You're gonna
Well, I
wait
will
until after Catherine, after you speak with Elizabeth?
Well, I'll try to, yeah, I
Okay.
thought I would like to get another meeting in this month if we could, maybe just to kind of set into a routine of like every,
Yeah, I'm gonna be gone a couple of weeks, the last couple of weeks.
okay. All right, so maybe we won't then. When are you gone, do you know?
19th to the 31st.
Okay.
Bon voyage. Unless you're having a procedure.
I'm not telling.
So that would mean we could do it on the 15th. I don't know what my calendar is on the 15th. Because I was originally hoping for the 22nd. But
Well, you can still do it without me.
that's true.
And then somebody else can take the minutes. Which is always a thrill.
She does a good job.
I bet she does.
Tape it. He records it. What do you need minutes for?
That's right, we can go watch it. I could actually do the 15th if that's,
What day of the week is the 15th?
it's a Monday.
Monday.
It's 2 weeks from today.
Yeah.
Fine, that works for me.
Yeah. I do believe I'm free.
Yeah, we know.
It's 5:45.
Or I could do Wednesday the 17th if that works better for people. But
Wednesday the 17th, I'm in New York.
15th. Then. All right, why don't we tentatively set it up for the 15th? If for any reason I don't, because I've got a busy couple of weeks, if I don't have a chance to sit down with Liz between now and then, I'll let you all know, and then we'll shoot for whatever that first Monday in November is.
So
after
that
you
would be
get
at
back.
5:45?
Is that okay with everybody? Yeah,
Yeah.
5:45.
Tentatively, okay.
Yeah, 10 to, all right, great. Next meeting, October 15, 5:45. If there are no other items, to discuss, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
6:25. Thank you.
Sehr gut.